I'm Patty Mulvihill, and I started with Splore very early on and was lucky enough to meet the Disgusting Brothers very, very early on too. I think, we will have to fact check this on as far as dates and stuff, but I think that I had met some of the Disgusting Brothers when they were river guides for us, and ended up knowing that they were also part of a band, and they ended up being part of saving our lives, saving our financial lives, and doing emergency Disgusting Brothers concerts when we had to pay some bills. And that was the early days. I also ended up dating the main singer, Sam Falsone, so that helped solidify all of the connections. But it was really, and then we ended up also going on lots of river trips with them as guides, some of them, and just, you know, they just ended up, it seemed like Splore and the Disgusting Brothers, we were just sort of this community that came together to help Splore out, but we also became just the dearest of friends. And some of the Disgusting Brothers ended up being on the board of directors, and there was just this continual moving in and out of all the kinds of ways in which we were all involved with each other.
My name is Martha Ham. I was the first director of Splore, and my connection with the Disgusting Brothers is, in fact, Patty and I were their original promoters and agents.
That's right.
There was a symbiotic kind of relationship that developed between the Disgusting Brothers and Splore. It was, the lines blurred there because Splore, some of the Disgusting Brothers, Steve Memnock, Kurt Crowther, Sam Falsone, helped start Splore. They were guides for Splore. They were also musicians. They recognized that we weren't doing so well funding-wise, and that it was a worthy program, it seemed. And so they came up with the idea of a benefit concert, and that was the beginning. Ho Ho Gourmet on State Street, Mr. Wong, and we raised $2,000 that night. That was just, it was so much money.
We were shocked at how much money we had. That was, how long was it going to take us? It was going to take us for months of getting through. We were just not going to have to worry.
It put us in the black. So that was the beginning of realizing that the Disgusting Brothers were our cash cow.
Right.
Would you say?
Yeah. And I do remember that night at that first Disgusting Brothers party. The party was on the second floor because it was a Chinese restaurant, and they had an open spot on their second floor. And I don't remember how many people we had, but there was enough people to dance hard enough to crack the floor that was also the ceiling of the restaurant. So we ended up causing some damage to that restaurant, but it was
to the building.
Structurally, totally. We were famous for that, for doing that. But it was so interesting because Martha and I, we hadn't had a fundraiser before. The Disgusting Brothers hadn't played before. We were all virgins in that kind of.
Virgins is a dubious term.
In that respect.
I would say, how about we were fledgling?
We were fledgling, right.
We were fledgling.
Yeah. But man, did we know, whoa, this is a party, and this thing can continue. And the other part of that is that, well, really, it was our only thing that got us out of trouble, financially. Because I remember talking to, like, after river season, when all of our money is gone, we have spent every piece, all money, and we would end up having to pay like employee taxes or something. And calling Steve Memnock, because he was probably the chairman
of the board,
and say, Mims, what are we going to do? And He would say, we need an emergency Disgusting Brothers concert. So we would have an emergency Disgusting Brothers concert in order to pay the taxes from River Season. So thank goodness that we had a band that was, in cahoots with us. And that's really, it grew from there, which is really quite shocking, that just back in the day when we just didn't know. We just didn't know we were going to make it, but we were just doing the good thing, and just found those people that just came to us, and we're the best.
And our Splore community who enjoyed rock and roll, they loved the parties, and so they were happy to come and support it and tell their friends. And before it was over with, in the early 80s, we had events where the Triarch, I think we had 1,000 participants. They really rose to some local rock and roll star status in a pretty short period of time. But the thing that was pretty remarkable about it was the guys always wanted to do it to help us and to help our organization move forward and be stable. They gave their time, they gave their music, they gave their talent, and Splore would not be what Splore has been were it not for the Disgusting Brothers.
We wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have had another way to make it. I really don't think. Maybe we would have figured something out. It wouldn't have been as much fun. That's for sure. Yeah. That's for sure. But I do love thinking about that time. It's just such a warm. It was stressful for sure because we just didn't know how to pay. We just weren't sure how to pay the bills, but we did, and just that whole community just continued to grow and grow and grow, and it was so heartfelt too. It was fun and heartfelt. It had all of it. It is the most joyful time of my life, for sure. I met the people I love the most in my life.
I met the people I love the most in my life.
And you're right here,
and
they're
are here
upstairs,
today,
and
40 years later.
Yeah.
Wow, how lucky are we?
I just, I have goosebumps just because it was a real blessing to have come in and asked you for your job.